Men, what wholesome thing do you wish your girlfriend would do more often? To not play devil's advocate when I'm venting or complaining about something or someone. I know some of my vents are dumb and the other person may be in the right, but she does not have to take up their side while I vent. When I vent something like that, the person is stupid and I just want to slap them. I wish more often she would just say, yeah, that person is stupid, let's go slap them and whoever stands in the way. Instead, most of the time I go, well, you don't know what they're going through and maybe they meant this or that. In the long run, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to do anything, just venting and going to forget about it, so just agree with me and roll with it. Venting is like a therapy session where the therapist argues with you about why you're upset. Story 2. Be more of a partner in the decision-making process. My wife and I have a generally great relationship, but there are often small things that need a decision where we end up in some kind of stupid fight. For instance, if we're planning on going to dinner, it's frequently a hassle. Sometimes she'll want to try a new place someone recommended, which makes it easy. Other times, I will make a suggestion and get shot down. Then I will throw out 2 to 3 options, all shot down, or I get a vibe she isn't really into it. I would say that she can choose a place, but I met with, I don't know. It can be very frustrating. In decorating the house, she will often go out and pick up decorative items for the shelves or walls or whatever. Most of the time, that is cool, but if I ever do that on my own, it's a big ordeal. She just wants control. If I want to be involved with picking stuff out, she appears very annoyed a lot of the time. Story 3. As a man, I would appreciate it a bit more, but there are all sorts of reasons why we all feel we're not getting enough. My lady is a lovely, beautiful person, and we have squabbles about these things, but we usually come around to understanding each other. In my opinion, it is okay to want certain things from your partner from a basic animalistic point of view. We choose partners for all kinds of reasons, but people forget we're wired to survive, and so expecting me to go out and bring home the bacon while she looks after the home, we're a solid team. We know where we stand and who we are. Nature at its finest. I understand that societal norms have changed, but I believe in the value of traditional family values and mutual respect. Cultivating a partnership where we prioritize each other's happiness and well-being is important to us. Story 4. Okay, so this is like super specific, but it's still true. So my wife likes to greet me at the door when I get home from work, which I love. A few times a week, I will be carrying a lot of stuff when I walk in. She typically reaches for the stuff I'm holding so I can untie my work boots. Super nice, right? But she will almost always carry it across the room to the counter and put it down. It's not always just stuff from lunch, tools or other assorted things from work, maybe something I printed out for her, especially on the a lot of stuff days. The non-lunch stuff usually goes in a different spot right when I get in the house, like she puts it in a different spot, which I usually take care of right away. Then later in the evening, she's like, can you go put your stuff away? That stuff you brought home from work? Like, I mean, sure, yeah, I can, but like, why hasn't that already been done? Like the sink or dishwasher is literally one step further. I know I could just do it after I take my boots off, but I also need to go take my dirty work clothes off and she has already carried it to the kitchen. Like what? It's not even because she's the woman and belongs in the kitchen. It's just like she's already done 99% of the steps. She's already gone it that far, just put it in the dishwasher. And now after I typed it all out, I know I'll catch heat for it because I'm some oppressive man or whatever, but it's already typed and I'm not wasting it now. Story 5. Plan and decide on things. Every day I am asked what is for lunch or dinner. Should we empty the dishwasher? Should we do this? Should we do that? No opinions or preferences. It's never, the dishwasher needs emptying, or I think we should have chicken for dinner. It's only ever, should we mow the lawn this weekend, or should we take the dog to the park? Not, we need to take the dog to the park and mow the lawn. I will do option A, you do option B. I get offering choices and respecting preferences or putting someone else's wishes first, but it's tiring making all the plans, and from time to time, I'd like to just be told what to do. Sometimes, affirm, we're having pizza tonight and you're mowing the lawn. Can be surprisingly liberating. Story 6. I've been with my girlfriend for a while and lived with her for multiple years. I love her and we have a great relationship. I'm a big gamer though, and she doesn't really get it. She thinks an hour or two on the weekend is going to satisfy me when it's one of my most beloved hobbies. I've absolutely communicated to her my needs in regards to that, and we slowly started getting on the same page, which is great. That being said, I wish like once every few months you just leave me the hell alone for like an 8 to 10 hour game session like I had in my youth. I know it's not realistic to do it regularly, but just once or twice a year even. Leave me alone. Don't come check on me, ask me questions. Nothing. Just pretend I'm not there. Story 7. Spend more time with me. My partner and I do get to spend a lot of time together that I'm incredibly grateful for, but I would spend all of my free time with him if I could. Proper answer, massage. I'll do that for them often. It's something that we both really like. I love to massage them. I help to make them feel good because I know they enjoy it too. Leg, foot, back, any sort. I love to give them. It makes me happy to be making them happy. But my partner has given them to me before a couple times and it feels really nice, so I just think it might be nice if they wanted to do it again sometimes. It's a bit difficult for me because I don't really feel the most confident about asking them, at least not during those occasional moments that I've thought of it. And I don't want to ask them to do something they have no interest in. I don't know if they have any interest or not. Second option that I saw in the comments that I definitely agree with, back scratching. Story 8. This was a problem I had with my ex, but something my friends also had or have problems with their exes or current partners. If I hung out with my friends and we decided to eat out, I would always call my ex and ask if she wanted me to bring something home for her. Same if I was going to the store, I always called and asked if she wanted or needed something. And I would often bring some candies home for her. Every darn time I would call and ask if she needed something or if she wanted something brought home, and my friends always did the same thing. Never once during a 6-year relationship did she ever do the same thing to me, and apparently, neither did my friends as partners either. Maybe it's just like that here. Maybe it's different in different places. I'm trying to make it a gender thing, even though it was so in my close circle. After about 3 years, I just stopped doing it, to her annoyance. It's a sweet gesture, and it's a good feeling when she thinks about you even when you're out with friends and brings something for you. Story 9. I love my fiancée. She's an amazing human, a wonderful partner, and she's gorgeous as all hell. She's quite a bit academically smarter than I am and has a really strong intuitive mind geared towards the abstract and high-level detail. She's in a technical project role in her professional life and absolutely crushes it. But she also is often completely devoid of basic common sense at times and misses the big picture because she's so focused on the details. She can't make basic decisions because she overthinks until it's too late or just shuts down entirely and I have to take over. We're planning a trip to Seattle soon and I'm usually the one to take the lead on things like flights, lodging, and transportation because she frankly makes it entirely too complex. I gave her a simple task of picking the area where we should stay, and she has family in Seattle. You'd think she was doing rocket science. So to make a long story short, I wish she would act sometimes instead of think. To be fair, she would probably say the opposite about me. I'm much more grounded and focused on the start and finish. I don't have a strong mind for details or the process, so we naturally make a great team. Story 10. Household or daily maintenance. Things and the simple things it takes to maintain the cleanliness, organizational, safety, and otherwise overall functioning of a household or home. House, apartment, townhouse, dorm room, vehicle, etc. That every human must do, especially if it's your home or area. Clean and upkeep your own home, belongings, and laundry. Wash your own dishes. Take down the garbage. Don't leave days or weeks old fast food bags, empty pop bottles, and other food-related things on the couch, table, kitchen floor, etc. Clean up after yourself. Wash the bathroom sink. Wash your goddamn toilet bowl and bathtub every couple of months. Get rid of the bad or moldy food that's in the fridge. Find your own belongings. Feed your own fish. I shouldn't have to do everything. Ask you to do something that's not difficult and 3 weeks later, still have it not be done. I should not have to ask or tell you 4 times in 2 weeks to do X thing and know that 90% of the time I'll be the one doing it because you won't, because you refuse to, because you just don't care, because you are that lazy. Story 11. I wish she and I would talk more often. We've kind of hit that state of just day-by-day stuff taking up more of our time than we would like, but when we do have time to spend together, we don't chat like we used to. A lot of that is on me, though, too. I'd worked a job for some time in which I was the only one on shift, no other coworkers, etc. Not much social interaction, even though it was at college. I refused to talk to students more than what was necessary in fear of a my word against their situation over some BS. I would just spend all day, every day, with no one to talk to, not anything urgent ever going on, etc. So I got a bit weird about speaking. I rarely speak anymore. Mostly just grunts, yas, and okays. I feel like I have nothing to talk about. And I'm the sociable one in the relationship. I do wish that she would take some initiative in some things or even try to start a conversation instead of playing around on her phone. I've recently reduced my phone time around her at her request, and while the request was mutual, the efforts have not been. I find it somewhat frustrating, especially because I have ADHD and one of my worst issues is when there is background noise and someone is trying to speak. It's like they're trying to broadcast over the same radio bandwidth. I can catch glimmers and specks of words, but ultimately I have to piece it all together and hope that I make sense to others. And what's frustrating is, when I speak to her, one of the things she brought up was that I stopped my videos to listen to her. And even when she wasn't done speaking, even though I thought she was, that I would start my video again. My issue is that she keeps her videos playing while she wants to hold a conversation with me. I just can't do it. My brain just goes to mush. Sorry for a long rant, just looking for an outlet. Story 12. Give me space when I ask her. Sometimes we have a rough patch and I just need to center myself for a couple days because when we were fighting, we might have intimacy and it feels like everything is good, but we didn't solve anything. Sometimes you just need to get home, get work done so I'm not anxious about losing my job, clean my house, etc. I ask her to give me some space just a couple days and she starts calling more and messaging me. I know it's her anxiety making her feel like I'm abandoning her, but she just makes it worse by not giving me space. One time recently, I sort of lost it and started screaming at her to please just give me some time to center myself. I shouldn't have done that, but it seems she doesn't get it. Sure kept talking and saying it was messed up that I would tell her like that. I kept asking to please just give me some space. I didn't want to hang up on her because it feels wrong, but she just kept talking. Let's spend some moments apart to make sure we're following her best self. But she keeps needing to talk to me. I'm talking about a couple days, not like months. I'm not sure if this is a deal breaker or not. Everything else is great. It feels so simple to me. Story 13. I wish she would initiate more. I love her dearly, and I know she's so busy, so she's often too tired to do so. I have a 1-year-old now, and her intimate life is tough. I have to always initiate intimacy, and it's more often like asking her for intimacy that she doesn't want, so it doesn't happen much. She'll agree, sometimes, but I don't feel like she's into it as she once was. Once we're in the midst of things, she's usually into it, but I always have to be the dominant one. Just once in a while, I'd like it if she took charge and made the moves. I know being a parent makes it more difficult, but just once in a while would be nice. Story 14. I am presently single, but every woman I ever cared for, I wish they would have developed real, trusting relationships with their father or an honorable man. Because during those conversations, she exercises her left side, logical, brain. Without that experience, they can only use their right brain, creative or emotional brain, so her decisions, her perceptions, her tactics to get what she wants, all based on her unstable emotions. So she'll always be distant to men because her feelings will always try to lord over her man's logic. This is why so many aunties and mothers are bitter, unforgiving, and think like a man. Story 15. Think of things without prompting. His birthday, I ask him what he wants, and I'll get him that, but also a thoughtful gift or experience to go with it. For my birthday, he asks me what we do exactly what I plan for my birthday. If I don't plan it, we don't do anything. When my mom passed away, I had to tell him exactly what to do to help. I was overwhelmed, and if I didn't have an answer, he'd just sit on his phone while I packed up her house. And also at least pretend or compromise. He doesn't like going out. Occasionally, he will take the hit for the team, but more often he won't, so I go to everything alone. He doesn't like to dance, but sometimes I wish I had someone to dance at a party or wedding with. I know he's self-conscious, but so am I, and I'm a terrible dancer. Maybe that's why he says no. Story 16. Just physical touch or a compliment. Not to sound like a neck beard or be cringe, but when I was young, my parents split up and I was pretty much left on my own. They stopped parenting me, really. No real positive behavior, just reprimanding me when I acted up, otherwise being kinda indifferent. I remember I was maybe 12 or 13 and a girl decided to cuddle with me at some random bonfire. My brain being flooded with that much oxytocin, I pretty much forgot what it felt like, almost brought me to tears. I had major self-image issues, so letting people get that close is extremely rare. Story 17. Cultivate appreciation for themselves. Set reasonable expectations and support their sisters better. You can only expect to make a woman so happy in life because she never does enough to generate her own happiness and satisfaction. She has to actually try to appreciate the good in herself, grow from her weakness, and empower the women around her to succeed. Quit hoping her significant other will fill all her gaps. Quit being lazy and actually work towards loving and appreciating yourself. At very least, learn to appreciate what you have so you can be content in what you do and who you are as a person. Then, once you do that, when someone close to you tries their damnedest to make you happy in your life, maybe it'll actually work. Story 18. A touch or look when we're not actively being together. We're doing something passive, like watching TV. It's a really good show and she's into it. She's concentrating on hearing the actors and understanding the story and wondering what's happening next. So much going on in there. And she'll touch my hairline at the neck or glance my way. It tells me with all the things going on in her head, I'm randomly popping in there for only one good reason. Love. I get goosebumps from that kind of love. Story 19. Take me out on a date. We've been together for a long time. We're saving money as we slowly remodel our home. He works so much in physical challenging side things when he's off work. I usually help him or I'm doing school or catching up on deep cleaning things or errands that we're both so tired of. We're also former servers and we think the service we've experienced has been awful in recent years, so we don't always want to go out to eat. But there are other things to do and we just don't do them. We do a lot with our daughter, and we're always hanging out alone at home, but I want a date night where we dress nicer than usual and go do something alone. Story 20. Say thanks or at least acknowledge a compliment instead of assuming I'm trying to get in your pants. My mother always took her time with her hair, so I know just how much time somebody can spend trying to make their hair look good. I'm not going to go out of my way to give anybody a compliment, but when it seems convenient, I might throw out a, "Hey, I like your haircut," and go about my day. Sometimes I'm met with a compliment about my shoes or something, but more often than not, I get an awkward smile or no reaction at all. Story 21. Give good advice or insider info in meeting the family, setting you up for success. Before I met my wife's family for the first time, my then girlfriend mentioned a few things, including number 1, her parents believe that when you're invited over for dinner, you should always bring something. Number 2, her brother will find it rude if I don't specifically seek him out to introduce myself. Number 3, her mom would be really impressed if I helped clear the dishes after dinner. That night, I showed up with a fruit platter and pumpkins for her younger brother and sister to carve. It was nearly Halloween. I knocked on her brother's bedroom door and introduced myself, helped her mom clear the dishes. 15 years later, her parents still sometimes mention how impressed they were with my effort that night. I would have been totally clueless without that insider info. Story 22. I wish she took care of herself more. Usually after marriage, the guy gives up how they look physically, but I've just gotten better. That sounds narcissistic, but I make a conscious effort to prepare meals, wake up early to work out, etc., while having added responsibility with marriage, a kid, and working longer hours at work. She complains all the time about how much work sucks and how much she hates how she looks or feels, but does nothing to change it. She used to go to the gym regularly and meal prep, but they've fallen out the window, which leads me to picking up the majority of the work around the house. Lately, she gets motivation to do stuff around the house of workout, but she's not disciplined enough to stay consistent with it. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button for more videos like this. Story 23. I wish that they made the first move more often. Guys know how hurtful it is to be let down, so we can use that info to be as kind as possible. Like that guy in the 3rd grade who's faster than anyone else, most of those guys I know had a superiority complex. Except this one kid I knew in elementary. Most of the girls in our class wanted to have intimacy with him, but he ignored them. He had the idea that it was bros before girls, and I appreciated that, having been in the friend group. As an ugly male, I personally don't think that I'll ever get into a relationship in the future, and I don't really care about intimacy either, so I think that the best, wholesome relationship anyone can have is a pet. I prefer dogs, small ones like pugs, teacup Pomeranians, etc., because they're easier to get along with, they won't make ginormous messes when left alone, and they're cute. Story 24. Literally just let me fix your problem. I understand you're upset, but I can make it go away if you let me fix it. Of course, it doesn't fix emotional ones 100%, but me getting your mind off it will help the majority of the time, so just follow me without me having to drag you somewhere to get you to cheer up. If it's physical, broke a mirror on your car, tore your favorite jeans, dirtied your nice white shoes, let me fix it. I bought tools for that exact reason. I'll buy you new jeans, and depending on how it's ripped, I can sew pretty damn well. I learned how to get literally any stain you can think of off of military dress or service uniforms. Just let me clean it. Stop telling me no. I fix things. That's what I do. I'm Bob the freaking Builder. You won't be upset about it if I fix it. I bet he sings, "Can we fix it? Yes, we can," while wielding a screwdriver. Story 25. I don't understand why it's so impossible to decide on a meal whenever we order out. Like she's expecting every meal to be perfect and hit exactly what she wants, but will provide no context on what she wants to eat. Then I make a unilateral decision, she fights me the whole way, and then is very happy when I bring her Taco Bell. Like, what were we even fighting over? Story 26. Just be cool. I have a lot of friends that happen to be women. We talk, we hang out, they crash on my couch when they come to town. We get lunch together, bake birthday cakes for each other. The list goes on and on. There's no weird tension. There's no jealousy in my significant others. There's no awkward rom-com BS. I have a lot of friends and some of them are girls. That's all it's gotta be. From what I understand, this isn't a normal thing for other people. It's not a normal thing in the whole of my friend circle, and that's a damn travesty. A diverse friend group is a wonderful thing, and everyone needs one. Gals, you can hang out with guys outside of dating them. It doesn't need to be awkward, and you don't need to make it awkward by assuming we're laughing at your jokes for anything other than your great sense of humor or praising your achievements for anything other than you having achieved them. This isn't to say that's all on women. We guys make things difficult just as often, if not more so, but the question is directed towards women, and it's a two-way street. Both sides have to move to get to a stellar platonic relationship. Story 27. I know love languages are kind of bunk, but I find them to be kind of useful to generalize her needs. She wants acts of service and physical touch. I provide those, sometimes combined like massages without being asked. Mine are physical touch, which she has recently ramped up on. Thank you, spicy novels she started reading, I guess. But also words of affirmation, which she's so bad at. I need to be told I'm doing well, or I assume I'm doing crap. I make dinner for everyone almost every night, and while other people tend to say I cook better than some restaurant chefs, I almost never hear it from my wife. Or kids, but that's not unexpected. When I get a promotion, she was like, "Cool, that's awesome." And what I really needed was for her to gush and be like, "You deserve it. You work so hard. I'm so proud of you." I've told her a few times that this would really make me feel more wanted and complete, and it's just not how she works. I'm not surprised because in the nearly 20 years I've known her, I've never heard her parents say they're proud of her, that they love her or anything. They never say their feelings out loud, so she never learned it. The one time she went to a therapist, the therapist told her maybe her bad feelings were because of spirits. No joke. I told her that was just bad luck with a crazy lady, but she's uninterested now. Story 28. I wish she'd cut herself some slack more often. She's extremely type A, constantly hard on herself, always questioning her competence, juggling a career and being the mom of a young child, and generally going hard all the time. I wish she would just cut loose a bit. It seems like her solution to being overwhelmed and overworked is stuff like fixing her diet, fixing her exercise, finding another job, etc., etc. And those are all great things to endeavor upon, but when the issue is a cycle of burnout and you're trying to exert yourself further into new areas, it doesn't seem like the best solution to me. It seems like no matter how much slack I give her, her anxiety will take it up as quickly as possible. Her brain will create crises when there are none. At this point, I'm not sure how else to support her besides what I'm already doing. Story 29. I love it when a woman isn't afraid to break the touch barrier. I'm a large male by most people's standards, so I'm innately afraid of making you uncomfortable, even just by stature. I've met a number of women afraid of the very presence of large males. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable just by accidental proximity. If she randomly grabs my hand or lays her hand on my shoulder, that makes me very aware of everything about you at the moment. It's a very fun experience, and so completely unexpected when it happens. Having the confirmation that touching is okay opens a whole new world of possibilities for showing interest and communication. Story 30. The one thing I miss about my ex. She had a good way of reading my stress and anxiety levels and bringing me down. One of my favorites was a hot steam towel and shoulder massage. It was just that. Nothing weird about it, but I tell you that it was sexy as hell that she could realize I was struggling and without making me feel embarrassed, take charge and let me recharge. She was also really good with a straight razor shave, which is relaxing as all get out. Even just a squeeze of my hand and letting me know I wasn't alone was just awesome. Mind you, these weren't things I asked for or expected her to do, but her realizing that I needed to shift gears and relax. I always tried to recognize her stress levels and reciprocate, but unfortunately, in other aspects of life, we just weren't good partners. We remained friends for many years afterward, though. Story 31. This is not specific to girls, but it fits. Last Sunday, I got together, safely, with a small group of friends to celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving a day early. I wanted to celebrate my Canadian half. They wanted to celebrate something besides Columbus Day. Win-win. Anyway, during the day, the topic turned to curling. I mentioned it's my favorite Olympic sport and how I stayed up late to watch the U.S. men's team win gold in 2018. I talked about how the winning shot was magnificent, and I was jumping up and down, screaming silently as I watched so as to not wake my wife up. The topic quickly changed because no one cares about curling, really, and I don't blame them. But my one friend spoke up about a minute later and said, "Wow, Symbaholic, that was a great last shot. I just watched it on YouTube. That was awesome." Y'all, I'm a 31-year-old man and I about cried. That was a week ago and I'm holding back tears now. I share a lot of interests with this group of friends, but sports always seems to be just a topic that is just me saying what I want to say till the topic changes. But to have someone see that this was a big deal, take time out of the convo to look into it, then let me know, even in that small way, that they see what I'm saying and they deeply care about what I have to say is huge. I can't put into words how great it made me feel. When your friends share things with you, don't take it for granted. They are sharing a piece of themselves. Story 32. Held the way I hold them. Come up behind me while I'm cooking and hug me, put my head in their lap and played with my hair while humming or talking softly. Maybe a random backsmack for good measure. Bringing me home a small, thoughtful gift like my favorite snack or a new book. All the things I enjoy doing for a woman I love, I would really appreciate getting in return. Story 33. I remember sitting on the floor playing video games. This one girl wanted to try, so I lifted my hand up so she could grab the controller. She grabs the controller and kneels down behind me, putting arms over me, her chest to my back, with her head to one side of mine. Normally, I'd instantly pull away from this girl or give her suspicious looks, like if she even touched me. I didn't particularly like the girl because she seemed fake to me. But she got me with that one. I was butter in her arms. Story 34. My wife is happy just being around me. I can play video games while she reads a book for hours on end, and we don't have to constantly shower each other with attention and affection every minute of the day. We've been like this since we met, and it's definitely something that I wish the ladies had done more often in my younger years. Story 35. Kiss me passionately. I love kissing. I love when the person desires you and grabs you hard while kissing. I don't mean that we need to end up in the bedroom, but that phase of when you're dating someone and can't stop kissing, for me, is endless. But for my partner, is not like that at all. Sometimes I feel like just a roommate because we can spend days without a single kiss. And I live like that? Sure. Because he brings me peace in other ways, and I have adapted. I didn't even think about it until I saw this question. Just a little something I would like more. Story 36. Cook something that didn't come from a box. I love cooking and making big meals from scratch in the regular. Feels crappy when you take your turn to cook and spend a couple of hours preparing a nice dinner, then she has her turn, does nothing all day, and you come home to burnt frozen pizza or takeout. Like, is it wrong to expect some equal effort here? Also, for the love of God, put garments in the laundry basket instead of leaving them all over the bathroom floor. Story 37. I wish they would leave me alone. I'm 18 and live with my mother and my two sisters who have 5 kids. They work during the week and go out on weekends when they don't have their kids, so a lot of basic home responsibilities fall on me. I don't complain about those things. I do them when I can. And at night, I like to sit outside and decompress. Just about everyone in the house asks me why I'm sitting outside every time I go outside, and my answer is always the same. I want to. It's relaxing. I don't know how long it's going to be before they learn to leave me alone, but I wish they did. Story 38. My wife asked me, would you remarry if something happened to me? I answered, I don't think that I could ever find someone that loves giving me back rubs as much as you do. Her eyes rolled back so far, I thought she was going to fall over backwards. Touch is my wife's first love language. If I'm sitting up in bed, she'll start rubbing my back. If I'm driving and I seem stressed, she'll rub my forearm and hand. It's not a major thing, but it's one of the things that I love about her. My wife's second love language? If my medication didn't take away my appetite, I would weigh 500 pounds. Story 39. In high school, I dated a girl who would come out to the fields after some of my practices and would help me get in some extra practice. It definitely wasn't the same level of skill I'd get from one of the other guys, but just the fact that she would take the time to come out and field my punts or kicks or whatever else I was practicing, that meant so much to me because I knew she wasn't really a big sports fan outside of whatever team I was playing for. To summarize it up, guys love it when you make the extra effort to do things with them that they're passionate about. Story 40. I love the way she reaches for my hand or arm when we're out and about. I've never liked holding hands, but with her it was like automatic. Holy crap, can my girl cook. She was prior military and has traveled a good amount. She cooks all kinds of crazy good stuff. Her smarts. Jeez. I fall in love with her every time she geeks out over something mechanical. She works in the aviation or aerospace industry and her stories are amazing. What I'd want her to do more often? Probably let me cook more. Lol. Story 41. Feel my face? This is a weird thing I enjoy, but ever since I learned about how some blind people will feel some people's faces to get an idea of what they look like, I've really enjoyed when people do this to me. It could be an intimate thing for some people, but it doesn't turn me on. It feels good and it's intimate in a way I like. A different way of seeing someone. Honestly, it's my fault. I haven't brought it up, not even out of embarrassment, but just negligence. What she did to me last night and I'm going to ask her to do it more. Also, clean up her crap, but we're working on it. Story 42. Sometimes it's nice to just get a heartfelt word of appreciation. Something beyond a thank you, but some words with some thought behind them. One time an ex and I got a bit more distant while we were dating. Life just got busy for me and I definitely got kind of distracted and didn't see her much or communicate much for a few weeks. It was largely my bad. That said, she sent me a little card with a note in the mail, basically telling me she missed me and appreciated me. And I was moved by that gesture. I still think about it from time to time. It was unexpected, but just so nice and definitely snapped me out of my funk. Story 43. Throw something in the trash can. It's literally 2 feet to the left of the countertop you just placed it on. Or we can work on making sure no trash goes in the sink. When our countertop is no space, the trash ends up in the sink. And I'm not talking like garbage disposal appropriate sink trash. I'm talking about plastic wraps and chip bags and styrofoam cups. Not to mention all the dishes that, for some reason, only I know how to put in the dishwasher, kick it off, and then put it up. We're both slobs, but my thing is, I don't want to fold laundry. I work from home so I can handle looking kind of messy. I can live out of a laundry basket. Her thing is just literally everything else. She says she has ADHD and I believe her, and I don't push too hard when something needs to get done, but come on. The trash can is right there. Story 44. My now girlfriend who was traveling with me once in a metro on the way to a festival I was playing at, fixed my shirt collar while we were standing in the center of the compartment. The pride and the look on my face when she did that, it just felt so genuine. That someone cares how I look. Someone cares if my shirt collar is folded over itself wrong. I think that was one of the moments that I fell for her. Story 45. I got invited to a date where the girl took the lead, bought the beer, planned the route to show me a romantic spot, and carried the conversation mostly. She just came up to me and asked me. We worked together. Everything seemed to be a spontaneous decision, but I could tell that she planned it beforehand. It was one of the best and most relaxing dates I ever had. Story 46. If I had to pick one thing, I'd probably say be more physical with me, especially in a relationship. Everything doesn't have to be intimate, but we sit down together, grab my hand. If we're watching a movie and you don't want to snuggle, put your leg on me. Random kisses on the cheek from time to time. Hugs from behind are actually nice. Story 47. On one side, I'd say gaming, as I think it will help to be less male-dominated. On the other side, I've played video games with multiple girls now who all turned out to be at least 10 times more toxic than the guys I play with. So I'll just make it broader and say create hobbies. I think that's advice for people in general, but I hate those bios on, for example, Tinder where girls say, I like to party, travel, and watch Netflix. It's really boring and uninteresting. Do you really not care about anything else? A sport or making music or whatever? Story 48. Give hugs and supportive words when you're nervous. One time I was about to go on stage for a piano recital and my girlfriend said, good luck, you'll do great, and gave me a hug. Felt so good at that moment. I don't want that hug to ever end, and I went up on stage and I nailed that song. And it feels good and it's a real confidence boost, at least for me. Story 49. Chiming in unasked. I'm a woman, and long ago I discovered that men, on the whole, receive compliments so rarely that they are basically compliment-starved. So I make a point of telling everyone, men and women, if I think something positive. I am aware that this can backfire, but it's possible to make a compliment very clearly not flirtatious. Simply enthusiastic appreciation. Story 50. Compliments. Sometimes we do dress up for no reason other than it makes us feel good and maybe seek some attention. It always makes my day when someone, be it my fiance, siblings, friends, or even the old lady at the liquor store, that has happened, pays me a compliment even though I have no idea how to react when I get a compliment. Story 51. Cute stuff. I like waking up to good morning texts too. I like being told, you look nice today. I wish I got gifts from my girl sent to my work. Come up and hug me from behind for a change, please. I swear it might be because my age group is barely out of college, but the girls around my age have no idea how to treat a man properly. Story 52. A real compliment. I'm in a relationship where I basically get harped on, despite the fact that I do the majority of the chores and pay for her car, as well as my share of the rent. Her friend is going through a rough time, so has been staying with us for several months, so now I'm getting harped on by two women while carrying more than my fair share of expenses. I give lots of compliments, but rarely get any in return. Story 53. Talking. That's all. You don't have to talk about anything personal or private or important. Any random topic will do. Living in near permanent silence, bit of an exaggeration, I know, is crushing and very lonely. I'd give anything to be able to strike up a conversation, but until I can improve my confidence levels and self-esteem, a bit of help would be greatly appreciated. Sometimes it seems that even my female friends would prefer to sit in silence rather than have a chat, and I won't lie, it can be hurtful. Not that I think that they're doing it on purpose, it's just the way I perceive things. But yeah, just a chat will do. Well, if you like these stories, here's more. YouTube thinks you're going to love this. Catch you in that video.